I let someone go recently because we've got built training courses which are mandatory for them to, or my team to do. And there was a reluctance and constantly wanting to do it the slow old fashioned way. There's just no time for that.
Emily Van Eyssen is doing something most recruitment agency owners never have done before. She's placing 30 to 35 people per month with a team of 8 recruiters. Her profit margins make traditional agencies look broken, and she's doing it all by combining South African talent with AI and automation, literally automating roles out of existence in her own business whilst helping other agencies do the same.
We've mixed AI with outsourcing, and I know we're the market leader in this. The silver bullet is obviously South Africans with AI.
Well, here's what makes this story even more compelling. Emily stumbled into recruitment completely by accident during the pandemic. She'd never done a single day in the industry, no training, no playbook, no 20-year industry experience telling her how it's done.
I've not had any training. I've not had any work for anybody. Most recruiters, they all have that background where they've learned. I've approached recruitment in a totally fresh way.
Which is why she sees more opportunities than everyone else I'm speaking to right now. This conversation covers an uncomfortable truth about AI and how it's actually replacing people, why she fired someone for refusing to adapt to AI, and how she's planning to make 100 placements a month without scaling headcount by February next year. If you're trying to work out how to build a profitable recruitment agency right now, this one is essential. This is Emily Van Eyssen from Remote Recruitment on the RAG Podcast. Emily, welcome to the RAG Podcast.
Hello, Sean. Thank you so much.
We've been talking about this for a while. We've been talking about this for a long time. I think about 6 to 12 months we've been chatting about this. So I'm excited to finally get you on. You've had me on your show as well, which was always fun.
Absolutely, and thank you for your time on that. Time just goes so fast, doesn't it, Sean?
It does.
It just whizzes by. It seems like only 2 months ago that I first met you, and
I know.
it's been a year or so now.
At least, I think 18 months, I think we've started working together. So
It's 18 months of your life, Sean. I know.
18 months of my life and yours. That's what we want. That's what we want to make sure everyone hears on today's show. But look, the reason I brought you on, Emily, is I think you've got an incredibly unique business and incredibly relevant business in today's economy and the market. And obviously this season, I'm talking a lot about profit maximization. And I think we see the world in that respect in a very similar way. So before we get into your story and the business and everything that we want to, help others with, just give us the kind of bird's eye view of who Remote Recruitment are, what you do.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Sean. So, yes, I'm CEO of Remote Recruitment, and what we do is we find top talent working remotely from South Africa in the UK, America, Australia, I think about 15 different countries now. So it seems all a bit bizarre that I'm global when I started it from my kitchen table. But yes, we've got about 300 people now placed across the world, which is fantastic. Really making businesses get what they need, and accessing better talent for less with more flexibility. And that's the name of the game.
And it's only South African talent for you, isn't it?
That is our USP. I personally don't believe you can be an expert in 45 different countries. Just don't believe it. I practice what I preach. My whole team is South African. I'm half South African. I've got boots on the ground. And it's so far, touch wood, been an incredibly successful journey, not just for me, but for my clients.
And you've just been to South Africa. You just come back from Cape Town.
I have. It was wonderful. I finally met my team after 3 years. Can you imagine?
I can imagine. I've got the exact same team.
I built this incredible business of 300 people working, plus my own team, which is about 8 people, and I'd never met them.
Two that joined me at the end of 2024 that I've never met. That's just the nature of a modern global world. We will sort that.
It's so strange, isn't it? Because we've got relationships that I speak to a couple of these guys more than I speak to my own mum.
Yeah.
And I've got such a close relationship. And it was so lovely. It sounds a bit weird, but to be able to touch them, to be able to hug them, to breathe the same air. And that was really special.
But it was also very, I don't know if you agree, but when I've been to South Africa or they've come here, or we met in Dubai this time last year, it's really normal straight away. Like that shows the power of Zoom and stuff. Like you do instantly like feel like you're just with people you've spent loads of time with. It doesn't feel like, oh, it's weird now I've seen you in person.
I did do a few sense checks first. So, how tall are you actually? Because I didn't want to have that surprise of like you did with me, and just like something. Oh, actually, you're there.
We were quite funny when we did this because we met for the first time earlier this year, and I said to you, by the way, I'm 6'5" or whatever. And then you went, so am I. And we both had this one. And then you actually are not 6'5" or nothing, but you are tall. You know, you're taller than me. And I'm not, I'm 5'9.5". So when we met, I was like, oh, you weren't joking. And I, because
No, no point in messing around with that. No, I'm a tall girl.
it's a running joke for me on LinkedIn. Like, you can be as tall as you want on Zoom. You can. Online, you'd be as tall as you want.
But that was a wonderful thing to meet people and actually to see them and yeah, have a few drinks, make some wonderful experiences, and we've come back better and stronger for it.
So again, I've worked with you personally for quite a long time now, and we worked on. You've been in the boot camp, you've been in the boardroom with us, you're working on different strategies. What I've found from working with you is your story, I think, is genuinely unique. I don't know anyone else with a similar story in our industry, so I wanted to tell it. Like, I really found it inspirational when we met. So
Thank you.
I don't need to go through the whole thing, but let's just ask a simple question: what were you doing before recruitment? Because you're not like this legacy 100-year.
No, I think this is something that's played out not just in this business but throughout my life. I am an anomaly. I am a bit weird, and I do make things. Oh no, weird's good, Sean. If you're not weird, you're not in my gang, mate. Weird is good. I'm definitely part of the neurodiverse group as well, which makes us all more interesting. But as a bit of my story I left out, I actually was in recruitment once for about 9 months when I was about 23, right. So just a few months ago. And I placed nannies internationally and did nannies for princes and princesses. And it was fine, but I wanted to get back out on the traveling gig and do other stuff. And anyway, I've had loads of different careers and different things and whatever. And just before the pandemic, I was looking after about 180 different Airbnbs and bloody hated it. Hated it with a passion. Didn't quite, like so many people, you end up with a life that you think, how did I get here? This isn't for me. But oh well, I'm here. So the pandemic came and I was literally illegal overnight because Airbnbs were closed. And it was wonderful. It was magical because I suddenly had weekends and I had evenings and I saw my family and it was great. But I needed this thing called income and revenue. Really
managing Airbnbs. Well, you weren't owning the properties; you were just managing
some of them. But I managed it. So I was.
Yeah, that's a 24/7 job, isn't it? Like, it never says as well.
But I still bloody hated it because at the end of the day, it was always me. And then, like everyone else in the pandemic, Rishi Sunak spoke and was throwing money out like confetti. And I'd sit my newest openings to be talking. I'd get a bottle of wine and a pad of paper and apply for everything, and just did the scattergun approach and hope for the best. And for some unknown reason, I got offered a Kickstart Gateway contract. Now, this was a scheme, it was just running for the pandemic to help young people that were on the dole into work. And I still, to this day, do not know why I got awarded that contract. I had no recruitment experience. Yes, I was a successful business owner, but I had nothing. And I suddenly got...
You applied for it, though? You saw
something... So I applied for it, just for luck, because we had lots of time in between drinking various bottles of wine and making banana bread. So I thought, still sod it. Apply for it. I applied for everything else. Lots of things didn't happen. And I forgot about it. And then I suddenly got an email about 6 weeks later saying I'd been awarded Gateway status, which was a £1 million contract. I got a big wad of terms and conditions and 2 logos. And I thought, well, what the bloody hell do I do with this? This is fantastic. But what do I do? Rang up the DWP, who were useless and gave me nothing. So I then rang up various other people in the scheme pretending to be a customer and pieced it together. And to cut a very long story short, by the end of the pandemic, I was Southeast's largest gateway and replaced about 200 young people into employment. And I had no recruitment experience.
Leave from it, though. Is it like, profitable? Yeah. If it wasn't like a non-for-profit type?
No, darling. Don't do that. And I, made a lot of money, helped a lot of people, and built a completely virtual recruitment business by mistake. It wasn't a plan. There was no vision. There was
what
no...
What were you actually doing then? Talk me through just the process of who were the clients? How were you... how does it all work?
I had to find clients that wanted a young person between 18 and 24 for, I think it was 26 hours a week for free.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic for employers because they could have some free labour when they needed it.
Yeah.
And the idea was that the young people sitting on the dole not doing anything would get some valuable work experience. They got paid and I got paid for each placement. It was like normal
How
recruitment.
much did you make? Like, how would it work for you?
Each placement, I would be paid a certain amount by the government for each placement I made.
Like a one-off, or was it like a
one-off? A one-off, and then we had to administer the scheme throughout.
Right.
And we had to buy them certain things like laptops and bits and pieces. We had to provide them and set them up. But it was quite nice and it was quite lucrative. And I got a nice lady in to help me. And
it's a really good feeling as well. Like, in that same time, I raised, me and a couple of my clients, Chris Redmond and Tim Rodell, we noticed that while there was a lot of schemes, the one thing that kids didn't have was laptops to work from home. So we raised £40,000 from our network to buy laptops ourselves, and we did a whole. And it was one of those times where it felt like the right thing to do was to try and help. And you're making money whilst helping, which is
the dream, right? And actually, some of those one of my employers that I keep in touch with from that time, because I had no recruitment business. I was literally phone bashing, reaching out to contacts, friends and built up a network. And one new client who has become quite a good friend, he's still got 3 people from that scheme that is now employed full time in their pillars of their business. So it's been really valuable and really good fun. But then the pandemic finished, and I was probably one of the few people in the country that every time there was another lockdown going on, yay! So I was cheering it. But then thankfully the pandemic finished and we went back to normal. And I was like, oh, right.
That still shouldn't have changed the scheme, right? Because if it's successful getting young people into work.
It finished. They ran out. Yeah, they finished it. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't the most successful scheme and well thought through and well planned scheme from the DWP, but that's their problem. But yeah, that I benefited, and a lot of businesses benefited, and a lot of young people benefited.
I remember. You remember it, yeah.
And it's a shame I didn't know you at the time, because we could have helped a lot of businesses, but such is life. I was then left with a recruitment business. I'd set it up. Okay. And I thought, oh God, I'm going to have to go back to property. Bugger.
What you say things always gets me.
That's not the plan. I was a bit depressed about it, and I needed some young people. I needed some people, my Kickstart people that I had working for me. They finished. Oh, bugger! Now I've got to find people, and I've got to pay them. Don't like this. Probably again a bottle of wine was involved. I spoke to my family. I thought, God, why don't I get South Africans into my business? And I hired 2 people for the price of 1 UK person. One of the ladies, Mia, she still works with me.
Was that while you're doing the Kickstarter or not?
At the end, yeah, when the Kickstarter's been finished. She's still with me 3.5 years later, based in South Africa. She's amazing. She started as posting social media, and now she's my CMO and my CTO and automates my business. She's next level. So, and then it took me a good few months to get the setup right and understand the taxation and make sure that I was compliant in both countries. I wasn't breaking any laws. I got it right, because that's always the big danger with outsourcing, is that it's really easy to fall foul of one legislation in one country or another. So I spent a lot of time and a lot of money working it out, and fast forward and here we are 3 years later.
Yeah. So funny, because at the same time was my journey in South Africa. So we had a mentor, a guy called Leo Harrison, who runs a company called Chapter 2, really successful recruitment business, been on the show. And in the pandemic, we were kind of helping him with his brand and kicking his business off. And he was giving us mentorship because he'd created a 2,000 person business in the marketing space in the past. And he said, I'll never forget the quote. He was like, we'd gone remote. We'd got rid of our office in London. I'm sat in Manchester. Amma was in London, and the team was dotted around. And we were like, we're actually doing really well. We need to grow. And he said, well, if you're going to hire remote, instead of looking in Derby, look at Durban. And I'll never forget that. And I was like, well, go on then. And he told us the story of how they built Oliver Agency in South Africa, and they had this incredible global workforce. And I was like, okay. And then we got one guy, Gareth, in Johannesburg, was our first hire. And we did it through an employer of record. And then a year later, we actually flew out and signed to our business. We've got Hoxo Media South Africa. We own an entity there. And it's been an absolute revelation for us. Like, the business is lean now, but 50% of the team are still there. So we've only got 10 people. There's 5 there, five here,
Well, this
4.
is.
So it's been an incredible model for me. But again, it's a similar journey, a 5-year exploration into that. And I still get questions from people now, like, is it worth looking at? I'm like,
Hell yes.
But again, I think you've got to have the right mindset and probably the right business model to make it work. Like, it's not just a complete there's someone there and it all works perfect. Like, you've got to have the foundations and the infrastructure in place.
Well, I'd actually go further than that. It's actually about I've seen it on so many occasions, having the best business and fabulous talent and it going wrong. So, and that 9 times out of 10 comes down to mixed expectations, both sides not knowing what they want from each other, and bad training. You need to get those things in place. And it's the same with any hire, but it's just amplified in a remote setting, because in an office situation, you pick things up organically. You're hearing other people's conversations. You're learning by osmosis. That's gone. So it's really important from day one to set out how the communications, how to communicate, when to communicate, who to communicate with. Such an important piece, and training. I mean, I've got it wrong on multiple occasions in my own business. So one of the things that we've now done is built a course that was much easier with AI. And the first week, anybody working in our business is just going through the training courses and working on a sandbox, so that there's no damage to the business.
Yeah,
they can learn, but all the expectations are there. But it's not just videos; it's they have to pass tests, and then that way that we know that they know and they know what we want, and that has increased our success rate by about 82%. So this is essential.
If you think about the world we live in now compared to 5 years ago, though, when we were starting these businesses, like, call recording software wasn't really a thing. So, yeah, you say the osmosis was gone. I think that's back in a way, because, like, my guys are watching our calls after we're having them. So they're like, for example, one of our sales guys, he's actually in Portugal, not South Africa, but it's the same concept. He listens to mine and Emma's pitches straight after, and he's got an unlimited stream of what we're doing all the time. So yeah, he's not listening in real time if he's not on the call, but he can plug in and he can watch and he can interrogate AI and ask questions, and he can get so much from it. So it's getting better to run a business. I think the infrastructure now is so good to run a remote business.
It is, and certainly on the sales call side, I mean, something that we've done, and we're trialing it with our business and rolling it out with about 4 clients of ours, is we've built this incredible sales training sequence that all calls go into, and then it analyzes each section and scores each section, so that the guys at the end, because who reviews and how often do you actually listen to all your salespeople's calls? And the answer is not enough, because none of us do it enough. So we built a load of technology to go around
sales call analysis for you.
Yeah. And I think that's something that I think is really unique with our business, is that we've mixed AI with outsourcing. And I know we're the market leader in this.
Yeah.
And that just really helps the technology together with a wraparound, because it is the silver bullet. Outsourced fabulous people that are cheaper and better in South Africa with AI, absolutely incredible. And I think that's the thing as well, also with the talent, is the big savings that I've experienced and you've experienced and other clients have experienced. It's if somebody's wanting somebody at £40,000, by the time they've finished with national insurance and all that sort of kerfuffle, it's not much change out of 50k. Now, if I can get somebody at better that would be a 60k employee for 30 or 30,000, that's the win, because it's an opportunity to get better as well.
I think it's important to if people listening to realize that South Africa's not like, we're not talking like 1,000 a month. We're not talking like there's parts of the world where you can pay 1,000 all in. This is a quality that is same if not better, and the price point, I'd say the 25 to 35,000 range now is probably in most professions what people are looking at, what we look at, and which is still an entry level, especially if you look at London. It's a very entry level salary in major cities around the world. So it's not expensive. But if people are going in thinking it's absolutely like a VA in the Philippines, it's not. Like, let's be frank.
Quality is the quality, and if people are looking for the Philippines and India the Philippines, they're fantastic, but they're more repetitive tasks. There's a cultural divide. If you're looking for UK quality person, it's South Africa. And yeah, your figures are right. I mean, our average person that we take on, if they were in the UK, they would be 30K upwards to, we're doing quite a lot of fractional CFOs now, which is fantastic. So it works across the board. The higher you go up the level, the bigger the price saving is really.
Really?
And you get 100%. So yeah, CFOs are fantastic things, fractional CFOs to bring into any business when you're trying to grow and scale. And they're bloody expensive in this country.
Let's go back a bit. So take us back to the point where the Kickstart's ended. You've hired a couple of South Africans. It's gone quite well. Where's the light bulb moment of suddenly you're going to start deploying a UK business?
Day one, it just took me a while to piece it together and get it right to scale it out, because it's not terribly easy it's not opening an entity in South Africa is not like opening it in the UK where you just go to company's house, and opening a bank account is interesting. It's complicated. So it took me a while to get the whole system set up correctly. And then it was pretty much full charge ahead.
Conclusion of the product, like who were you going after? What type of roles were you filling?
I went to properties. I went for property guys really, because that was my jam. I knew them and I had them, and it took me a while because I was still going for cheap, and I was competing against the Filipino side. And I realized very quick, we have to be different. We're not Filipinos, because South Africa's expensive compared to Filipinos.
But Tarango also wins in South Africa, so you get in that.
Yeah, it comes down to quality as well. And if you're looking for if you get into an aeroplane, it gets you there. It gets you there. It doesn't matter which part of the plane you're in. Doesn't matter. But if you want to be in the back, that's fine. But actually, if you want to be in the front or in the middle, that's South Africa. It does the same thing, and it's the same with levels. So I think the Filipinos are fantastic for the repetitive. I feel very sorry for the Filipinos actually, because they've now on a practically full economy, full employment, and a lot of their jobs are the jobs that can be completely automated now. So it'll be interesting to see how the Philippines pans out. I know they're quite really trying to push the AI side of things, but a lot of their jobs are very automatable. So I think it's going to be a shift there. I think the global economy will shift a little because it will have to. And because they're in full employment, I've had a lot of horror stories about Filipinos, as I'm sure you have. I've had Filipinos didn't work out. There's some great ones there. I'm not dissing a whole nation, but the time difference definitely works in the UK, 100%. And it's a bloody great place to nip down to in February to meet your staff.
That's true. The story how I absolutely got that wrong. I planned a trip in 2023 in the summer, which is the wrong time to go to Cape Town. The weather was awful in the UK summer. I planned a 5-day trip, put it in a diary, paid for the whole UK business to fly over. One of my team's like, I'm really struggling with the dates. Can we change it? I said, no, we're not changing the dates. I should have changed the dates because I had a wedding smack bang in the middle of it, my brother-in-law's wedding. So I couldn't do the dates either. And I was like, I can't miss this wedding. So I ended up flying out for 24 hours. So I flew overnight, landed, by the time you're out of the airport in Cape Town, it's like 1 o'clock. I've had to get to London the day before. So I'm down to London, fly overnight, into Cape Town, meet the team, bit of work, go for dinner, get up in the morning, breakfast. We did this lunch thing, and then I'm straight back to the airport, flew overnight, and then landed in London, had to come home. So it was like a 4-day. It was nuts. And don't do that. Don't do that. But but the fact is, you know what? The one thing it does do with the time zone, there's no jet lag, because as long as you can go overnight and you can get 6 hours sleep, you're all right. And if you can, I didn't go business. I think I did premium economy, which was pretty nice. It was fine. Yeah.
I flew out one of my UK. I've got one UK salesperson, and I flew her out, and she flew out on the Thursday. Had Friday to herself. We were together with the team all weekend. She flew home Monday, and she was at work on Tuesday. Yeah. There's no disruption. Yeah. No disruption.
You get this going. How did the business grow? Like what were your numbers like in the first year?
Any business, it's 5 steps forward, 1 or 2 back. The first first year, I thought I was doing really well. I really thought I was Billy Big Bollocks. But that was also because I didn't have a bloody clue about recruitment at that point. I made it up as I went along. I've not had any training. I've not had any work for anybody. You know, most recruiters, they all have that background where they're learned. But I think it's been a really beneficial because I've approached recruitment in a totally fresh way. So as you know, our processes are unique. No one does it our way because it was born in recruitment. And that there's been some huge wins. So at the end of the first year, we placed probably about 60, 70 people. I was thinking, oh, recruitment got us.
You're doing the recruitment as well as the sales?
I was doing everything from the kitchen table. I was doing everything. And I just slowly would bring someone in. As the cash flow grew, I'd bring someone in. And then it took me a while to actually realize what I was doing in terms of the value I was giving businesses. So I put my fees up quite a lot. And I think it's something that a lot of people can relate to. You put your fees up and go, oh, is anyone going to pay me? Is anyone going to pay me? And you give the price, people go, okay, fine. Yeah. Oh, that was easy. Yeah. And I pushed up, and I'm now to a place where I feel is the right for the market. And yeah, now I was talking to a colleague of mine, in the industry, yesterday, and actually it feels like I love food. Make no bones about it. I've got the recipe. I've got the recipe for fantastic cakes. I'm a brilliant baker, which isn't true. But now I'm just getting more bakers in to make more cakes.
Yeah, that's the way you look at it, yeah.
We're scaling. We're in the scale phase. So I'm hiring a lot of business developers. I've got the formula.
Because what you do is essentially, it can be applied to almost every sector and every job title, really. Like, see, you've got this, like, the USP is the candidate profile and the location and the cost saving. But like I said, you work with recruiters, and we've referred you, and you've done some incredible work with our customers. But you're not unique. That you don't have to focus on recruitment. Like, you can do anything.
Yeah. We've got clients in probably about 45 different industries. It's one of the things that a question I hate, Sean, sorry, thankfully you haven't asked me, is what's your typical placement and what's your typical client? I don't know. Someone who works remotely, because
someone who wants to save some money.
Yeah. What I find is probably about 70% of our clients come from referrals, either somebody like you, which is fantastic, referring us, or mostly happy customers that then talk to their friends and, I've got this great South African. Where did you get it? Talk to Emily. And it just, it grows. But when we're moving into something now, which I'm really excited about, because obviously AI is a big thing. It's a hot topic of everybody. You know, I was an early adopter. Discovered it in 2022, which really early adopter, and been playing with it, and it's revolutioned my life and my business. And we could obviously talk for hours about how AI is going to change the recruitment space and the world of work. And the answer is nobody really knows exactly.
No, I agree with
but you don't know where it's going to end up. But all I know about is today. And we've got, in my business, I've got 2 super users. And the value of those super users in my business has been exponential in terms of output. I mean, we've 10x in the last year, and I plan to 10x again next year. And I haven't grown my team. Not though
we see core net, that top line revenue, 10 and growth.
Yeah.
What has it gone from and to?
I don't think I should say that online. I'm not going to say that at the moment, but I'm not going to, I'm afraid. It's gone up. It's gone up nicely. And I think there's a capacity to go again, because I am looking at possibly exiting within 5 years. So I'm really trying to bring super users into my business, and I'm only hiring people that are super users of AI. And that obviously, God, obviously everyone else wants this. So now we've got a whole AI stream for people. So we've got 2 streams. That one is for people who want automation, because I'm a nerd. I think you're the same, Sean. I'll spend 10 to 20 hours a week playing with AI, the latest thing, implementing it. But not everyone can do that.
I'm probably not quite like you. I'd say I'm in the middle. I'm interrupting today's episode to talk about our sponsor, Atlas. recruitment CRM. Admin is a massive waste of time for recruiters. And that's why Atlas, the world's first AI-first recruitment platform, is built for modern agencies who don't want to do it. It doesn't only track CVs and calls, it remembers everything. Every email, every interview, every conversation. Instantly searchable, always available, and now it's entering a whole new era. With Atlas 2.0, you can ask anything and it'll deliver. With magic search functionality, you speak to it and it listens. It finds the right candidates using real conversations, not simply look up for keywords. For me, this would be massive because I spend most of my time talking to my CRMs, talking to my emails. I'm just better with voice. Probably why I got into recruitment in the first place. Now, Atlas 2.0 also makes BD easier than ever because they've got an opportunity section where you can track, manage, and grow client relationships powered by generative AI and built right into your workflow. If you need insights and reports, they've got custom dashboards that give you total visibility over your pipeline. And that's not theory. Atlas customers have reported up to 41% EBITDA growth and an 85% increase in monthly billings after adopting the platform. So there's no admin, there's no silos, there's no lost info, nothing but faster shortlists, better hires, and more time to focus on what actually drives revenue. Atlas is your personal AI partner for modern recruiting. Now, don't miss the future of recruitment. Get started with Atlas today and unlock your exclusive RAG listener offer at www.recruitwithatlas.com/the RAG. All right, let's get back to the show. I'm probably the classic salesperson who's really tinkered hard over the last few years, but I'm still not absolutely like one-on-one that tech savvy. Like I understand, I know enough to be dangerous in almost all areas, and I know where the right people around me need to be. I'm not like, we've just built some really cool stuff with like Claude, NAN, pulling tracking profiles on LinkedIn, pulling in Fathom Zoom recordings. Like my content plan now in seconds in Claude is pulling so much data from different places. Could I have built it myself? Probably. Did I want to? No. And I've found the most amazing team around me to do it that we're now like spinning out to clients, and it's been amazing. But I think you're probably a little bit better than me technically in terms of getting yourself.
Well, I'm not sure, but that essentially is what we're doing as well. We've got sort of two streams within the AI sector, because the silver bullet is obviously South Africans with AI.
Yeah.
So the first slide was making sure that the people that are put into businesses, if the business owners want that super user, we give them that super user, because a super user installed in a business is just phenomenal what they can do. Just looking at things and going, oh, we could put a workflow here, we can build a workflow here, and just shrinking it. So trying to put super users in and working through, that's one way. And then the other way is basically having an AI audit and then matching them with an AI automation specialist to do it themselves on whatever level. So there's sort of, some people are geeks like me and Mia, others know they need to do it but don't know how to do it. And I think a lot of people fall.
There's a way of being trained in it or buying someone to do it in your business.
Both.
Two options, yeah.
Both. But again, through the South African side. So yeah, we've rolled out, because one of the problems I've also had is, you've been to South Africa, you know that there's huge poverty and economic situations, is how to put back, because it's really important to put back. So we've built a fantastic training program, which is all about AI. It's only about AI, which we're putting probably about 5,000 people through a month in South Africa. Now, am I going to employ those all? Absolutely not. I wish I
created a candidate pool for the rest of the world, though.
But I'm upskilling people that can go elsewhere and showing them the opportunities. So that's something that's really quite close to my heart. I'm quite passionate about, because it's not just throwing money into a black hole; it's empowering people, and how it's which is really important. So that's quite fun. So yeah, the AI piece, we're in real.
What would someone in the UK pay for a super user at the moment in your business? Someone to come in and actually work full time and be the AI expert?
Name a role, because that's how much is a car situation.
I kind of think that is the role, though. Like, so if I'm a recruitment agency listening and I'm like, I want one operational person who's going to look at all of our business and just work out how to use AI for each, that's the AI engineer type role, I'd say.
There's two different ways of doing this. If you're looking for someone, say marketing, bringing in a marketing super user, then those skills just leak into the rest of the business. So that's one way. The other way is to bring in either a fractional or a full-time person for a period of time to automate your business, because every business is unique. And I think that's the big thing. A lot of clients I've met through we're all recruiters, but all our businesses are different.
Yeah, cool.
We all use tech stack. We all have different things. So there's an element of personalization. So again, it depends on the level, because there's some people who use Nate and are top level Nate. You're looking at about 3,000 a month for that. But then if you're lower and you're just talking about workflows, you're looking at sort of 2.5.
Right.
So yeah.
And the way it works for you is you wouldn't have to commit to like what's the contractual element to it?
So if you're hiring a super user within your business, so what I mean by a super user is that I've just hired a really amazing whiz bang ops manager. Now, before I hired her, I put her through AI paces because I needed to know she was a super user. And because everybody goes, oh yeah, I know about AI, yeah. But do they? I put her through a series of tests to make sure that she was a super user. She knew how to spot workflow opportunities, how she could put together a superb a workflow. I'm not expecting her to be a Nate whiz, not expecting her to do that, but to understand it a bit like your level, I suppose, to know enough to be dangerous, but then talk to the tech team and put it together. So that sort of person, that's what I'd call a super user, and that's where magic really happens in the business, because if you've got that entrepreneurial bent, you've got 15 probably 40 different ideas in your head, but you can't do them all. But if you've got a super user that can just go, you can achieve 30 of them. And that's where the productivity boosts. So a super user would probably put an extra 500 quid on the bill a month. But to give you an indication, one of my other super users, who is in my tech team, she literally automated out a salary. She automated a complete job out.
But what I'm saying is contractually. So if I
contractually,
what are we signing up to? Is it a 3-month, a 12-month, a 6-month, monthly rolling
user like that, and you're hiring an ops manager or a marketing person? That would be the normal employment contract. If you're looking for the fractionals to bring in an expert, it could be a month, it could be 6 months, it could be a year. It depends. It's designed on you. That's really what it is, because everybody has a different tolerance to AI and a different need for AI on a different level, and a comfortability with it.
What are the symptoms that clients are usually displaying when they're coming to you? Like, what are they saying to you? Like, this is why we've reached out. Like, what are they seeing in their own business today that makes them want to have this conversation?
So in terms of the AI piece, I can think of one client of mine off the top of my head that I'd love to talk about. He's not in recruitment, he's in property, but he had massive FOMO. It started with FOMO. That's where it started with. He needed to do AI. He had nothing. He had a few Sintra bots, but that was it. He needed AI. He felt he was missing out. He could see his competitors doing better. Everyone talks about it, and he had FOMO, but he didn't know what to do. Now, with Ollie, we've placed, I think it's 15 people with him. So there was the trust thing. So what we started with there is as an audit of his processes. I don't know his business. I can't say do this. Nobody can. So we did an audit, and we've got a set format to do an audit. And then from that, worked with an automations guy to spot the 5 easy wins, because it's always best to start on easy wins. And that was obviously, that started with sales, lead generation, and tracking. Those were the big wins that we brought in. And that's typically most people's pain point, isn't it? It's tracking and sales, though everybody wants more sales. What I would say is focus 70% on lead generation and 30% on internal, because it's a good job to having too many leads.
That is literally what my whole sell is, and what I say to everyone is like, while the rest of the market is focusing on operationally delivering everything, like they're focusing on pure product, they're losing market share in what people actually want to work with them. Like, you've got to have the front end. You've got to have your front end running all the time. Like, it's a good problem to have, isn't it? It's a good problem to have if you've got too much demand. People want to work with you. It's a good problem.
We can always fly somebody in. We can always bring someone in quickly, and we have that. We have a very short lead time. If you rang me today and said I wanted a delivery consultant, I could have it for you in a week, somebody amazing. So that's an easy problem to solve. It's an easy problem to solve.
Getting people to want to work with you is the hardest thing to solve. And we both believe in that. And, our whole my whole business is built around that. In terms of, let's go back to the recruitment industry, because that's who listens to this show. You've done quite a lot in the space now, and obviously, as I said, work with some of my clients. What roles in a recruitment agency should people be thinking about South Africa for?
So this is where I'm going to sound very flippant, Sean, and say everything. But the most popular roles is obviously marketing, because it's a great place to market, to outsource that. And again, that's where I really would recommend a super user, because if you can 10x your marketing by one person, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So if anyone's hiring a marketing person, make sure they really, really understand AI and the opportunities there, because that's the first thing. Then obviously the delivery side. The delivery side is an easy one. That works perfectly. Something that is really important, though, if you're hiring somebody internationally, is to make sure that they have international experience, because there's a massive difference between sourcing in South Africa than sourcing for England or America or Australia. It's different skill sets. So we make sure that everyone has 2 to 3 years experience working internationally, and that is a winner. That's vital. There's one piece of advice that would be that. Then operations and finance, and the business development side as well. So 180 or 360. Personally, I work on the 180 model. I believe in 2 different camps rather than 360.
Yeah.
So that's for my business. But there's a divide about that, isn't it? And
look,
we can help.
360 can work. I don't think it's as easy to scale, but it's better. You can make a lot more money and have, you can have a really high profit, small, lean agency with 360 models. I think to scale, it's harder, because finding the 360 talent is harder to find. It's harder to nurture. It's harder to develop. It's giving 2 jobs. I was a great 360 recruiter, but there weren't many in our business that were great at it. They were okay. Whereas it's easier to find someone who's really good in front of clients and just bangs doors and bangs phones, and it's easy to find someone who can consultatively find candidates. The problem you then have is the supply and demand issue, where you've got more people on the bench when the roles aren't there, and X, Y, and Z. So they both have pros and cons. Talk me through your business model now. What does it look like? What does remote filming look like? What's the recipe? But we'll go into that. What was a business?
My secret sauce. I'm not telling you all my secret sauce, Sean.
What are you?
So obviously, we've got the finance model. Brought in a South African fractional CFO, which has been one of the best things I've done.
Yeah.
Which was essential for scaling, because I thought my reporting was pretty freaking great. It was crap. So you've got to really understand your numbers. So a fractional CFO, we have a part-time bookkeeper, again, all South African based, which is perfect roles to sort out. Then marketing side, you obviously know Mia.
Yeah.
She has my tech. She's tech as well as marketing, because she's pretty much automated the majority of marketing, which is awesome. Which is obviously something very close to your heart. Then I have an ops manager, who's one of my super users, who's constantly going through things. So what we have is a process map. One of the things I've really focused on this year is writing down all my processes, how to do everything, which is something that I was really bad at before, which made training hard. And with that, we've got a wish list of how it works now, and then a wish list of what we would like to automate. Because if we can't automate it today, 6 weeks' time we can. So that's constantly being tightened and sorted and tweaked. Then I have my BD team, and then I have my talent team, and I have them separately.
How many people have you got in each of those teams?
We're two on each.
Yep.
2 on each. But by February we should be 5 or 6 on each. So I work on the buddy system. So one talent person matches with a BD, so that they each book a different desk. They get to know each other.
There's you split them by industry. Would that be the way you?
Yeah, they've got different. They're having different desks.
Yeah,
because we can hit different things. So it works. So they become specialists in that. So we're quite lean. We're really lean. We're only at about 8 at the moment. And we're placing about 30, 35 people a month, which isn't bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Are you still the main BD person, I imagine?
I've come off.
You've come off.
It was one of the
incredible salesperson, and you've come off.
Thank you. it's one of the hardest things I've had to do. And I'm always really pleased when one of my team can't take a meeting. I'll do it.
That's the thing. I'm at the point with, like, I don't want to come off, even though I could. I think I could. I'm not sure the business would be as profitable as it is, but I think I could. But I don't want to. Like, I like the couple of hours. I only have like 2 hours a day now.
You can't grow. And I've focused purely on growth. And I'm focused purely on me learning and scaling. So I've swapped the selling side to learning, talking to people who've scaled their business successfully, talking to experts, talking to finance people, just trying to be the sponge so I can go to the next level. Because one thing I have learnt is this business, reason I've supercharged is because I've invested very early on in business coaching and help, which I've never done before. And I wish and that's probably been the single biggest change. And by the way, listeners, Sean didn't ask me to say that, but it's
no.
true.
But you did buy it. Oh, let's just talk about that. Like, why did you buy into my training? Honestly, what was the symptom there? Because
symptoms, great. LinkedIn, I had at the time about 22,000, probably about 20,000 followers, probably 24,000 followers that I'd built up over years, just sitting, clicking. And then when we did an audit on that, probably there were only 15,000 good people in there, but I wasn't getting any work.
You weren't doing anything with it.
Yeah. I've learned over this year to really focus and to monitor, work out what's working and then do more of it.
That's exactly what I'm doing
now. And this year we're trying so many different strategies and just rushing through strategies, but failing fast, which is fantastic because then we can go, right, that doesn't work. This does work. Let's do more of it. And that's really been the biggest thing for us this year.
But when it comes to my training, you weren't making the most of LinkedIn. And what was the impact when you went through it?
It works. It works. And you've got your own secret sauce, which works. Yeah. And you know that because I've referred you to people. I've referred people to you.
The thing is, I'm obsessed with it. Like, I'm obsessed with the fact that this industry, just recruitment, is full of people like me and you who are sat on 10, 20, 30,000 followers. Like, it's mental, actually, that it's one industry where everyone's been paid to grow an audience. Every employee of every company, every founder has been growing and growing and growing and growing. What I find really interesting is that the world is obsessed with AI and scraping data and all these cool things, which, again, I'm not saying you shouldn't do any of that, but as a primary focus, like what you did nearly 2 years ago now with me, is you got that bit right, which is saying, if you're already my connection, if you're already my follower, I'm going to monetize you first, rather than trying to just hit cold audiences all day. Because the industry is obsessed with in-mails and data scraping, and they're sat on 10, 15,000 people that they don't even talk to. Bonkers.
And the best thing is you can automate the hell out of it, though.
Can't. You can't.
It was a classic example. And I worked with, what we learned with you, we then did across all the 5 profiles in the business. And we, rather than teaching 5 people to do it, because with anything, adoption is the problem, whether it's any training, whether it's AI or marketing, it's exhausting making sure people are doing it the way they've been taught, because everybody goes off on their own tangent. Yeah. So you took one person and trained them to do it the way you did it across the 5 profiles. But human nature means that we tried it with about 5 different people, that they would be brilliant. And then after about month 4, they go, do you know what? I'm just going to go off my own path. Let's see what happens if I do this. And stats would drop. Yeah. So we just literally automated the fuck out of it. And that job was gone. It's gone. So there's so many things you can automate. So yeah, processes are really important to follow. And I think that's probably the biggest danger the workforce has in general, that if they don't comply with procedures and processes, their role will be automated. Does that certainly what I'm doing?
I believe that that's true. I just believe that the role will, the people that don't want to adapt will be the problem, because I do think the next skill set in the next 10 years will be, every role will just be how to use AI to deliver the roles that we used to do manually. Like, Because you think about it, someone in finance should be much better at using AI to deliver the results in finance than me or you. I'm better than most people to do it in a brand and marketing capacity. You'll be better to do it in a remote recruitment capacity. So we should keep our locus of control, but we have to use AI to do it better. Like otherwise we're gonna be gone.
It's a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. And very sadly, I let someone go recently because we've got built training courses.
Yep.
Which are mandatory for them to, or my team to do. And there was a reluctance and constantly wanting to do it the slow, old-fashioned way. There's just no time for that. There's just no time.
No.
And that's gone.
What is that about you, Emily? Is and again, it probably goes back to what you said a minute ago, where you've given yourself the time to learn, you've invested in other people to soak up information, but you've obviously got a way you want to play. You've got a design. You've designed a way the business is the recipe, right? So if someone, it doesn't matter who they are, if someone goes against that, you've got a decision to make. And a lot of founders in recruitment will say, well, they make quite a good money. So they'll let them get away with whatever the fuck they want to do. And then what you end up with is this mishmash of people doing things their own way, which might make money, might not. And it's not.
You can't feel that, Sean. You just can't
feel. I don't know. I just don't think it's a business that even if it gets scale, it just might not survive in the future when things like processes are going to be even more important.
I had to make a decision, and actually 2 people I let go because they if people are reluctant to adopt a new process, then it's my responsibility as an employer to try 2 or 3 different ways to make them understand and help them to understand why, but also training. If that still isn't used, what can I do? Because I'm in a mission to scale hard and fast. Because this business isn't just about a business for me. And I think most recruiters...
Can we finish the show with that then? Let's talk about where you're heading, because what are you trying to achieve?
Okay, so this is the best business I've ever been involved with, because it's not just about money. And of course it's about money. I bloody love money, like everyone else and everyone listening to this. But it's the first time I've ever worked in a situation where everybody wins. Normally there's a downside.
Yeah.
But the international business, the UK or American or Australian business wins. They get what they need, which helps them in profitability, which is a nice feeling, helping people. I live a nice life, which is great, which I bloody like too. I've got a nice car. My family goes to good schools. I like that. Makes me feel good. But then just as importantly, I'm creating jobs where there are no jobs.
Yeah.
And that's really impactful. So I feel like it's the best business in the world. It's a trifecta of wonderfulness all the way. So what I want to be doing is to get to 100 placements a month as quickly as possible. So I'm predicted, if all the stars align, that should be hopefully Easter.
How many? So you think you need 5 recruiters delivering to get to 120 each a month?
Yeah. And that should be done by Easter. And then I'll just manage the machine for a period, because beyond that,
what's that bottleneck of that happening? Like what's going to stop that from happening?
It's just finding the right people, and I'm a recruiter, so I should be fine at that.
The demand, you believe the demand is there to do 100 placements?
100%, 100%, 100%.
I always say, I genuinely think, like most recruitment companies, it's not a sexy, it's an undesirable purchase. Like, think about it. Like, not many people in the world wake up and go, okay, I can't wait to hire that person and spend that money with that recruiter. They just know they have to. Yours is an actual desirable purchase to go, well, I've done it and I've gone, well, I can build my business internationally. I can make more profit. Quality people are there. Like,
there's more flexibility as well.
And like that's different than going, I'm just going to hire another body in the UK. Now, obviously, there is an impact on the UK economy if everyone goes and hires internationally, because then people in this country are going to struggle. Like, we go back to the original business you had in the pandemic and think, well, who's helping young people here? Because there's an issue there, isn't there?
I disagree with you, because we're and our unemployment rate's 6% at the moment, which is practically a full employment.
Yeah.
So the problems people face in the UK is that they can't find the people that they want. So the people in the UK have a responsibility to upskill themselves and to sort themselves out. And until that point, the opportunity is there for employers to go, let's have a look.
Couldn't you?
And I'm bringing in super users the businesses that embrace the opportunity, especially of a South African super user, means that their output doubles. So they're going to be paying more taxes to the UK. So I don't see it as a downside. It's something I wrestled for a while with to find that because actually, if we
Even your model, though, like, again, I'm not telling you to do this because I think what I love about you is the simplicity of it. But surely your training program isn't about South Africa. It's about AI. So the same training program could be deployed to UK young people that would go have more of an asset. Because I do think that if you look at the young people of this world, like your daughter and my stepdaughter who's 12, and they're entering a world where they don't know what they're going to do. The skills they've learned in school are not necessarily the skills that they're going to need in real life in 5 years. So
sure.
there needs to be more things like what you're doing here. There needs to be.
Well, something that I found really hard to do, and you came to one of my summits, thank you very much, when we talked to a few thousand people in South Africa, which you were a superstar on that. But the hard thing is there's about 50% unemployment in South Africa.
Wow.
So one of the hardest things that I start off with is saying that some of you will never work again. Some of you will never have jobs again, because that's the truth. But this is the most exciting opportunity because you can start a side hustle, do this, do that. I mean, my daughter wrote a book in 2023, I think it was with AI, with ChatGPT early iteration, put it on Canva, published on Amazon. She earns about 40 quid a month from it.
Oh, that's amazing.
But there's so many things that people can do with AI.
That's what I believe. I believe for every traditional role that's going to maybe go, there'll be something new. There'll be entrepreneurial ideas everywhere, and you'll be trading in different ways. And
don't be scared of AI. Embrace it. You have to embrace it because we're currently playing 3-dimensional chess. Nobody knows where we're going to end up. And the latest, the AI piece that LinkedIn's brought out is going to revolutionize our industry. When OpenAI brings their piece out in January, February, their recruitment piece, that's going to screw us over potentially. But that doesn't mean it's just a different opportunity, and having that agility. And also the other thing is always employ somebody who's neurodiverse because we can think like that. We can turn like that. Where, you normal people are a bit stuffed.
Well, Jordan from Atlas is a bit similar to you in the way that I lean on you a lot in South Africa. I lean on him a lot for AI. He's neurodivergent, and he definitely he sees things a different way, and he's got a work ethic like you. I think you both have a work ethic that's second to none. And I think you can kind of run at a pace for a long time that some people just can't keep up with. Emily,
we've from a different frequency, which I think actually employers, if you can get a neurodivergent South African super user,
left-handed, multilingual.
Yeah, but I'm a big advocate for bringing us slightly wonky people in because you can't have too many wonky of us because there's too many ideas, and that's probably been my biggest challenge.
I was going to say that about you. I'd say the only thing, you are one of the most creative founders I've ever met. I would say, right? I think you're an incredible salesperson, an incredible thinker, but it can go against you to have too many ideas. I've learned this. I've got the most incredible business partner. People don't really know Amma. He's not as public as me. Amma's job is to neutralize me because I'm a million ideas a day. I don't know. I must be a bit neurodivergent too, perhaps. I've definitely got a bit of ADHD. I'm always spotting opportunities. I always have done. But he just literally is like he just like earths it and says, hang on a minute, just chill out a sec. And because we've known each other since 21 years ago we met, we have the ability to like just do that. And I don't know who you've got. I think people like us need someone like that in our life. We need someone who's neither.
Sean, absolutely. And thank you it's been great.
I've loved it. I knew I'd have a lot of fun with you. If anyone's listened, I know you're not the BD, but people are going to want to talk to you, I think, based on it. So if anyone wants to reach out and say, Emily, I've got on this issue, I'd love to look at an AI person or just a South Africa conversation. LinkedIn, I'm going to tag you on everything. That's okay, yeah?
Please. And anyone that reaches out from this, I'll personally speak to, unless you don't want me, of course.
What I would like to do, if you're open to it, is I'd like to get you on again sort of summer next year. One, I think I want to see if you crack this scale game. I think let's talk about it. Two, I think there's so much that's going to happen in 6 months in both the offshoring and the AI space that we can talk about. So if you're open to it, I think we'll pencil in a part 2 to this because there's so much more we could talk about.
I'd love to. And I think we could actually do this for about 5 hours straight.
Probably.
I think everybody would be bored of us after that, about an hour.
Emily,
Sure.
thanks again for listening to today's episode of the RAG podcast. If you haven't already, please do subscribe wherever you listen to this show. As the more subscribers we get, the more people will listen and the more recruitment owners we can help. As a recruitment founder, you must know that things are changing. AI is everywhere. Cold outreach is getting harder and job boards, well, they're not what they used to be. But personally, despite the negativity, I believe the future is the greatest opportunity of our lifetime in recruitment, because for the first time ever, a founder with 5 recruiters with a clear niche and the right systems can build the kind of influence, reach, and profitability that used to take 500 recruiters and a global office network. The agencies that are winning right now aren't necessarily the biggest, but they are the most visible, the most trusted, and the ones building inbound demand. At Hoxo, we're working with clients who are running multiple 6 and 7 figures in net profit, outperforming the negative noise and headlines. So, to explain what these guys are doing, I've created a brand new free masterclass video for RAG listeners. In this video, it's less than 10 minutes long. I'm going to show you what these businesses are doing differently from the rest. So the link's in the description. Fill in the form, watch the video, and see exactly how this system that these clients are using could work for your agency. Good luck.